Ladies and gentlemen, and fight fans around the world, this is All Access MMA.
My next guest is the self-proclaimed handsomest man on the UFC roster. It is Matt Schnell. He's going to be taking on Tyson Nam coming up here at UFC Fight Night on September 12th. Matt, how's it going?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Can't complain.
Now, I imagine you wanted to fight a little bit sooner than this. I know we had COVID, and I know you're sort of a new dad. Was this the right amount of time, or were you trying to bug the UFC for a fight a little bit sooner?
I think this was the right amount of time. In fact, they offered me a fight a little earlier, and I just didn't have things in place just yet. So, yeah, anytime you take a 7-8 month layoff, it's not preferable. But what can you do? Sometimes you got injuries. Sometimes things, just the situation isn't right. Now, obviously, with COVID, my daughter being born, we've done the best we can.
No, good for you, and glad you recognize that. Some fighters get pressured; they want to go back and fight there a little bit sooner. Do you remember what card or what opponent you were supposed to fight? What was on? What did they have lined up for you? Do you remember?
I think they offered me David Dvorak.
Okay.
Probably a month earlier than this one.
Gotcha.
And I just wasn't comfortable because I hadn't gotten my training situation all figured out. So we passed on that one. But maybe in the future.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. Before we talk about this fight, I wanted to mention Tony Kelly. How cool was that seeing him get the call and getting the $50K bonus?
I can't be any more proud of the guy. He has taken the road less traveled, and he's had a tough. Much like myself, his line hasn't been straight and seamless, but I believe in the young man. I know I've trained with him since we were children, so I know what he's capable of. And how about Shreveport, Louisiana? Three UFC fighters on the roster: Tony Kelly, Andrea Lee, and myself, and me and Andrea Lee both in the top 10, and Tony Kelly's capable of the same thing. So putting Shreveport on the map, let's go.
Yeah, no, I thought that was very cool. Let's talk about Tyson Nam, your opponent, a veteran, man. I mean, that's one of the things you got to look at in the resume. He's fought everywhere outside the UFC, and now he's been making his mark in the UFC. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Yeah, I know Tyson Nam pretty well. I've watched him since he knocked out Dudu Dantas in, when was that, 2012?
Was it that long ago? Yeah, I guess it was. Wow.
Something. It was back in the Gap. I don't know. I'd have to go and look at the date.
It was when Dantas was the champ, which was so crazy because, Bellator was like, yeah, you can take this fight, and then Tyson knocked him out, which was crazy. I think it was in Shudo, Brazil, or something.
Something like that. Yeah. He's been on my radar ever since then. I've always kind of kept up with him and watched his fights, and I'm a fan of the guy, and I look forward to going in there and testing myself against a fighter of his caliber. It should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Training camp, I know it's been going well. I've been following all the updates on Instagram. I talked to Andrea, who I know is in California, but I know she spent a little bit of time with you guys. And then obviously Tony as well. Spoke to him last week, which, by the way, I see Tony has a fight now that was sort of announced today. So that's great to see him. What's it like having, teammates and stuff with fights coming up? The momentum must be pretty good at the gym.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Andrea and Tony, they've been bouncing around Louisiana a little bit, and I live in Texas, so I've actually gone over to Fortis MMA for this one. Tonight will be my last sparring over at Fortis MMA, so I've gotten great work over there. And just with COVID and everything happening, and the state of fascist California being what it is, I've decided to keep my talents in Texas for now.
That's cool. What was the connection to Fortis? How did you end up training there?
Coach Sept and I, he's watched my whole career. I came up in this region, and Coach has always had kind words to say to me, and he's always kind of voiced the fact that he would love to work with me at some point. And we've gone back and forth for years and years. I've always told him, I'm gonna come out, man. I'm gonna come out, and then COVID hits, and we really had to shift things in gear. And I'm appreciative to the guys over at Fortis MMA who have welcomed me with open arms. And man, we've been scrapping. It's been a lot of fun. So
I know one of the things with Sept, he's one of the best coaches in the game, but he really sets sort of a standard and a pace for the guys that train there. Did you find that when you got in there that everyone's got to be performing at a high level, or he's going to say something, or he's going to really make that known? Is that something you noticed when you walked in there?
Yeah, he has no issue calling you out on your bull crap. So no, it's been great. It's been a good influx of leadership, and I think that Coach Safe has been a great addition to my game, and yeah, we'll see where things go. I'm pretty excited about stuff. Training has been tumultuous, to say the least, and he's got a great group of guys over there that put me in bad spots, and he's got some young guys coming up too that are hungry, and you let these young hungry guys get a hold of you, and they'll take advantage of it. So I've had to be on my P's and Q's.
And as far as training partners, actually, now that you mentioned, I do remember seeing that photo of you and the Johns brothers, Miles and Elijah. I know Steven Peterson's there. Who else have you got to work with as far as bodies in the gym?
Different bodies. JP Buys.
That's right.
JP.
I think it's Bays, but yeah, it looks like Buys.
Spelled Buys, yeah. Got some work with him. Miles. They got a young kid over here named Bernie. I've been also coming around with my good friend Aaron Phillips, who's also recently gotten back into the UFC. So between that group of guys, they've been giving me all I want. And, Safe will throw a wild card at me here and there too. I don't know. It was a couple weeks back. He just grabbed some amateur kid off the other mat, came in, and kid gave me all I wanted. So, he has no issue crushing your ego a little bit. And, it's been a nice influx of humility here and there.
Good. And do you see yourself doing your camps there going forward, or is it just for this fight? What's sort of the plan after this?
Yeah, I could see myself using these guys from here on out. I never want to close the door on anything. The CSA has also been a great home to me, and I can't say for sure that if things weren't easier to deal with during this time, if I'd probably be back out there with them. But it is the way it is, and yeah, we'll have to see moving forward. But I've never closed the door on any place I've ever trained. Sometimes your life kind of changes around you, and you have to make adjustments for that. I mean, I am a fighter, but at the end of the day, fighting isn't all I am, and it's not what ultimately defines me. And I know it's important. My wife, my family, my friends, my home, these things are important. So we're just trying to make the adjustments as we go. But again, never close the doors on anything. Who knows? I might be at American Top Team my next camp. It's hard to say, but Coach Safe and the guys at Fortis MMA have been great. I have no complaints, and yeah, I can't imagine. It's just that much more convenient. I live in Texas. It's a 3-hour drive, but I got a place to stay here in Dallas, so ain't no thing. It's good.
Good for you, man. Who's going to be in your corner for this fight? Coach Safe, I imagine?
Coach Safe will be in my corner. Aaron Phillips and Alex Chang, my striking coach from Houston.
How's this fight playing out on September 12th? You feel like you're going to get your hand raised, but how do you see it unfolding?
I think it'll be a fun fight. I think it'll be one that will surprise people. This card, like others I've been on in the past, maybe not the most notable names and not the most hype, but I tell you what, every time I get out there, I bite down, I fight hard, I put it on the line. It's hard to say how things will play out. I'm not a fortune teller, but I like my chance.
You want to get another fight in this year, I imagine, just with the fact you haven't fought since December?
Yeah, definitely. Just financially, got to make that money. So, yeah, would like to get this one done, come out unscathed, and hopefully get another one before the year's end. But, of course, one at a time. Let's go get this W.
Last one for me. You're a Louisiana guy. We had one of the best fighters of all time retire officially, I think, the other day or yesterday, actually, Daniel Cormier. How much of an impact did he have on your career just as a guy from Louisiana yourself?
Oh, man, huge impact. And I've been on the mats with DC, too, and he's a motivating factor, always has been. And, just to know that a poor young man from South Louisiana can get it done and get all the way to the top. It's a motivating factor for sure, and I'm just some trailer trash kid from northeast Louisiana, so I can, I'm same type of guy, and yeah, it's interesting to see. I think Louisiana goes unnoticed for a large, largely because we just don't get the traction. But I mean, think about it: Poirier, myself, We mentioned Andrea and Tony, Daniel Cormier before us, Tim Crater, Kyle Bradley, Rich Clemente, Alan Joban. You're talking about a rich history. I mean, Louisiana should be thought of as one of the great fight states in our country, and I don't believe we get the due credit. And without the addition, I mean, other than Cormier, ain't no wrestlers coming from Louisiana. We don't have wrestling. There's not much of a background there. We play football. You know, our best athletes run track and play football. So, you know, I think it's something to note, the talent that comes from our small little state there in Louisiana. And I think it's something people should talk about more often.
Matt, always appreciate the time, man. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, floor is yours.
Got to thank all the teams I've been working with here lately from over all the years. You know, I'm a product of what I've surrounded myself with, and my skill set states that. Shout out to my wife, the greatest woman alive, who puts up with me day in and day out. And she's a great mother too, and I miss her when I'm away and can't wait to get back to her.